Do you feel like you struggle with weight loss because you lack willpower or you don't have enough discipline? I can relate to that. That's exactly how I felt 12 years ago. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why that may not be the case. So the issue may not be your discipline or your willpower. The issue may be the way you're setting up your goals, because that matters. And I'm going to explain why that matters. Because without a clearly outlined specific plan, these goals can feel overwhelming, or they could be missing some really important elements that will allow you to stay focused, that'll keep you locked in on this journey so that you can access motivation consistently. Because when you follow the SMART goals formula that I'm going to teach you in this video, you give yourself a very specific, clear roadmap to get where you are to where you want to be. And this roadmap not only shows you exactly where you're going, but it gives your mind exactly what it needs so that you can stay motivated, so that you can stay focused and consistent through the entire journey. So in the beginning of my journey, I applied SMART goals. I didn't know what they were called. I just know I had struggled with my weight for 10 years, and everything that I was doing up until that point wasn't working. I decided that I needed to approach this a little bit different. And I was feeling so frustrated. I remember specifically having this moment where I thought that I was going to be fat forever because I had struggled so much. I'd failed so many times. And that feeling, man, that despair, that hopelessness, I still feel it in my body. I want you to feel excited because I overcame it, and so can you if you just implement these SMART goals. Now, the reason why I didn't have success, for one, is I didn't have a clear plan. I had this goal. I wanted to lose 100 pounds. I wanted to eat healthy, whatever the hell that means, right? I wanted to get stronger, whatever the hell that means. I had no clear path. For me, it was very ambiguous. It was very like, I want to do this, but what exactly are the steps? I had no steps, and that set me back. I had a very unreliable way of tracking my progress. I relied 1000% on the scale to measure my progress, and that is a formula for failure. I'm going to get into that a little bit later in this video. And the last thing, my goals weren't structured in a way that kept me focused, that kept me motivated. Everything was so far away that when things got tough, I really struggled to stay consistent. Let me explain something to you. Our brains, it craves clear steps. And when we don't give it clear steps, it's going to struggle to stay motivated. You're going to struggle to stay locked in on your goal if you don't know exactly when and what you should be doing. So when I finally understood this and I made this switch mentally and I structured my goals different, I was able to reach my goal. Now in this video, I want to give you the exact strategy that I use. I'm going to break down how I set my SMART goals, what the difference between the original goals and the mindset that I approached the journey with for that 10 years that I struggled, and the details of the way that I set up my SMART goals and what I was measuring and the philosophy and the thoughts behind it. I'm going to give you all those details in this video. In order for that information to mean anything to you, you have to understand the anatomy of SMART goals and why they work, right? Understand the psychology behind it. I'm going to run through this really briefly. Now, first, the first element of a SMART goal is that it's specific. Example, I want to lose 15 pounds in 3 months. The next element, it's measurable, it's quantifiable. There's a number that we can attach to it. The next element, it's achievable. And this one is so key. You have to feel like you can actually achieve them. In the beginning of my weight loss journey, I want to lose 100 pounds. In the beginning, that felt exciting. Once things got tough, that goal of losing 100 pounds felt so far away that I could not muster the energy to get myself to continue the journey at times. All right, so understanding that your goals has to be achievable, has to feel achievable is so vital. The next part, it has to be relevant. Your goals should be something that's connected to something extremely meaningful to you. And the last element, it has to be time bound. You have to give yourself a particular amount of time to reach this goal in order for the goal to be effective. The first two elements that I really want to highlight here, and this is extremely important. I want you to pay really close attention to what I'm about to say here. The specific and measurable parts. Now, this is where the formula of SMART goals can get a little tricky when it comes to weight loss, because a lot of us, our default is to measure our success by the amount of weight we lose on the scale. That's one way to measure your success. That's one goal to focus on. But you got to understand that the scale is very unreliable. So it's going to be much better for you to focus on the actions that you can control. You cannot control what that scale does, but you can control what you do. So yes, you want to have a specific goal. You want to lose, in this example, 15 pounds in 3 months. But the thing that you use to measure your success should be based on actions that you take, your inputs. I'm going to give you some examples of inputs. How many steps you take every day. It's an input. It's measurable. You can set a specific goal and you know whether or not you're hitting that goal, right? How many balanced meals are you eating each week? You can set a specific goal, and I'm going to get into the details of how I did it. You can set a specific goal for the amount of balanced meals. How many training sessions are you doing? Instead of relying on what the scale does to say whether or not you are successful, why don't you rely on, okay, how many training sessions did I do, right? The goal was to do 4 training sessions this week and hit 50,000 steps. And I hit those, so that means I'm successful, right? And it's taking a lot of the emotional pressure away from the scale because, guys, I learned this because I had such a negative, toxic relationship with the scale. The scale used to control me emotionally. Let me know if you can relate to that. Put it in the comment section if you can relate to the heartache, the stress, the strife that comes from that scale. I want you to free yourself from the scale by focusing on inputs, right? The things that you do versus focusing on outputs, which is usually connected to the scale. How many hours of sleep, these sort of things. You want to focus on things that are in your control. All right, so let's move on. I'll get back to this in a second. Your goal has to be achievable. A lot of us, we get really excited and set these ambitious goals. For me, it was losing 100 pounds because I just wanted that weight off. And I understand that. Listen, I understand your impatience. I get it. Most of us, we're living in bodies that we don't feel like we're able to get the most out of life in. I get that. But we can't try to rush this process, and we need to break these big goals down into small goals that feel achievable, right? So that we don't experience burnout. I like the idea of having weekly wins that help you feel successful, that help you create some momentum, right? So achievable goals are extremely important. The next one, relevant. For me, my goal was connected to my ability to be a good father, right? I wanted to be able to train with my son. I wanted to have enough energy to be a present dad. Your goal has to be connected to something very meaningful to you in order for it to get you through those rough moments where things get tough, all right? And the next element is time bound. You have to put an end date to your goals in order for you to stay focused. There has to be some sort of pressure, some sort of artificial deadline, if you will, that's going to keep you engaged in your goal. Okay, so here's an example of a SMART goal statement. I will lose 1 to 2 pounds per week to increase my energy levels and to be more present and active with my family. Here's the opposite of a SMART goal. I will lose 100 pounds in 8 months to get more bitches and wear skinny jeans. 2 very different goals here. One is very granular, it's very specific, it's very measurable, there's time, but they both have time attached to it. But one is a huge mountain to climb, and one is, okay, I just need to try to lose 1 pound this week and increase my energy levels so that I can be more present with my family. That's achievable. Can I lose a pound this week? Yes, I can lose a pound this week. Versus thinking, oh, can I lose 100 pounds in 8 months? No, it's going to be hard for you to stay motivated when your goal is so far out there ahead of you. Now, I want to share my SMART goal system that allowed me to find success, right? But first, let's talk about what I did wrong. I had this goal. I wanted to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week, which was way too much. My plan was to work out 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, which was outrageous. And I only wanted to eat clean foods. This is where I'm going to break down my exact SMART goal, the things that I measured in order for me to find success, right? The goal was to lose at least 1 pound a week. And I wasn't attached to that goal, right? That was not the way that I monitored or measured my success. Let me be very clear. That was a part of it, but the main things that I focused on were the things that I can control. I had a goal of hitting 50,000 steps each week. Extremely measurable, extremely specific. I know whether I hit the goal or I didn't. I had a goal of eating 12 balanced meals per week. Very specific, very measurable. 7 hours of sleep every night. This was my goal. 4 60-minute weight training sessions. Again, specific, measurable. The key to me finding success with this was to have bi-weekly check-ins. This was so vital. Every Wednesday, every Sunday. Like clockwork, I sat down, I went over my numbers. How many steps? This is midweek. By midweek, I should have 25,000 steps. By midweek, I should have eaten 6 balanced meals. By midweek, at least 3 to 4 of my nights, I should have gotten 7 hours of sleep. And I made sure that there was ways for me to measure this. I had a coach that I had to check in with. For at least the first few months of my journey, I had a coach that followed up with me about this stuff. I'm a big advocate for hiring coaches. I'm currently taking on online coaching clients, guys. If you are at the space where you want to feel supported. You want to get off this roller coaster of inconsistency. You know you need the accountability. You know you need the support. You need the help with the mindset stuff. Sign up for a discovery call. Let's figure out if we're a good match for each other. And the link for that is in the description. So yes, I shared my results with a coach. And this part is so important. Now, at the end of the week, when I would check all my numbers on Sunday and I see I hit my steps, I see I hit the amount of balanced meals I wanted to eat this week, I celebrated. And no, I did not celebrate with an ice cream sundae. I would buy myself some workout clothes, right? I would spend some time in nature. These are things that I used to celebrate. So now I want you guys to think about your own SMART goals. Everyone's goal is different. I want you to understand the anatomy of this goal and understand why each part is important, right? It has to be specific. When I switched from I want to lose weight to, hey, I'm shooting for 50,000 steps, 12 balanced meals each week. When that became my goal, all of a sudden I started seeing results. All of a sudden I was able to commit long term. When it was measurable with that level of specificity, when it was achievable, it was something that I knew I could do. 50,000 steps wasn't a challenge for me. It was a challenge, but it was something that I could achieve. It was relevant because it was tied to my ability to be a father. And I know each week I had to check in with my coach. It was a week by week journey. Like I broke this big journey down into weeks, all right, which was key, absolutely key. So here are some examples of some SMART goal statements. You guys can screenshot this, pause the video if you need to, and write down your goal. All right, so I want you to take a second right now and think about why this matters to you. Why is reaching this goal important to you? I want you to reflect right now, because it's going to be important for you to keep that top of mind. For me, I had this vision. I wanted to be healthy and around and be able to run around with my children. I wanted to, I had this vision of what I wanted to be able to do in the last decade of my life, right? When I started my journey, I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs without being winded. I couldn't get on an airplane without the extender seatbelt buckle. I just no longer wanted that to be my reality. So reflect on what it is that's driving you right now. And I want you to take action on this right now. Use that energy, use that vision to take action. When you stop watching this video, write down your SMART goal. Right? Have a system of accountability. If you need to get a workout partner or an accountability partner, get a partner. If you need to hire a coach, I'm your guy. But make sure you have a system that's going to allow you to stay on course here. We need the support. Once you guys write down your SMART goal statement, I would love to read them. Put them in the comment section below. So if you want to be a part of my brotherhood, I want you to sign up for the Mindful Muscle Mentorship Program. I do free trainings. We do Zoom calls, Q&A specifically for the members of that family. All right. And also, like I said, if you're looking for a coach and you're tired of trying to do this by yourself because you're just so frustrated, sign up for a discovery call and let's see if we're a good match. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And as always, remember, the body that you want is owned by a higher version of yourself. So evolve. Peace.